Hey yo, it's time to roar, get loud, let's ignite. Jeremy B in the house, we keeping it tight. Every weekday at 11, we ready to ride. Lions Talk Live, come and join the pride. Waking up early, it's that morning grind. Tune in to the show, leave the troubles behind. Jeremy B's the king, with the voice like thunder. Every word he spits, it's a lyrical wonder. Got the lions around, sharp and fierce. When we hear one pride, you can't help but feel your heart pierce. Talking all the topics, keep it real, keep it raw. With a lion's mentality, we're ready for the roar. One pride, it feels right. Jeremy B bringing the heat, morning light. Every weekday at 11 we taking flight. Lions Talk Alive, yeah, we ready to bite. One pride, hear us loud. Jeremy's in the zone, making us proud.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
What up, no? That's right. I am going to talk about the best fit in the draft for what I think is the Detroit Lions. I wrote this article the other day, and I just wanted to put it out there. Logan Jones, the trench commander, the center out of Iowa. You've heard me talk about him redonkulously during the mock drafts I've done. He's the guy I take 98% of the time. And let's face it, I'm going to keep taking him. And I'm about to tell you why. I did a deep dive. I did a nice article about him. You can see it on the South Florida Tribune. If you use your QR reader to hit that, it'll take you to my articles. If you're building a prototype plug-and-play NFL center, you start with toughness, intelligence, movement skills, and that's exactly what Logan Jones brings to the table. A 3-year starter at Iowa and the anchor of one of the most physical offensive lines in the Big Ten, Jones enters the 2026 draft as one of the most polished interior linemen of the class. He's not flashy, but he's functional, consistent, and battle-tested, the kind of center who can start early and elevate a run game from day one. Jones began his college career as a defensive lineman before flipping to center, and transition shaped his approach. He plays with a defensive mentality, aggressive hands, leverage awareness, and a physical edge that shows up in the trenches. At 6'3" and 302 pounds, he's compact and powerful with a low center of gravity, excellent core strength, and his frame is ideal for interior work. His athletic profile included a reported 4.9 40 time, ranks among the best at the position. Which stands out immediately on tape is Jones' initial quickness. He fires off the ball with urgency, closes space rapidly, and establishes his first contract with authority. In Iowa's zone-heavy run scheme, he consistently gets his hat across defenders, hooks shades, overtakes combinations with clean footwork and timing. His ability to climb to the second level and intersect linebackers is a major asset. He doesn't just get there, he arrives with balance and intent. Yes, sir. Build the trenches. That's why I'm talking about this guy. Hey, it's good to see you, MDE, Steve Bauer, Moonscar Blade. This is all for you. 3750 to the therapist, MDE. On to the next one. Jones is a technician in the run game. He understands angles, leverage, and how to use defenders' momentum against them. He is especially effective on back blocks and reach assignments where his foot speed and hand placement allow him to seal defenders and create cutback lanes. He's not a mauler, but he's a mover. And in zone schemes, that's gold. In pass protection, Jones is steady and smart. He plays with a wide base, keeps his hands inside, rarely gets walked back. His anchor is solid. Where he's not overpowering, he's difficult to displace. He diagnoses stunts and twists quickly, communicates well with guards, and shows the ability to reset his hands mid-rep. His background on defense gives him a natural feel for pressure indicators and post-snap movement. One of Jones' most appealing traits is his mental processing. He's an IQ player who handles line calls, adjusts protections, and keeps the unit organized. Iowa's offense may not be flashy, but it's demanding, and Jones was the fulcrum. He's the coach on the field type, and that will resonate in NFL meeting and locker rooms. There are limitations. Jones doesn't have elite length that can show up against longer nose tackles who can lock him out. He's more efficient in movement-based schemes than in pure gap power systems. His play strength is adequate, not dominant. He wins with technique and timing more than brute force. Against heavy-handed interior defenders, he can struggle to re-anchor if his base gets compromised. Still, the floor here is extremely high. Jones projects as a starting caliber center in zone-heavy offenses with the versatility to play guard in a pinch. His athleticism, intelligence, and experience make him one of the safest interior line picks in the draft. He's not going to be a Pro Bowl fixture, but he's going to be a 10-year starter if he lands in the right system. Projection, rounds 2 through 4. Role, starting center and zone-based run schemes with guard versatility. Scheme fits, wide zone, inside zone, hybrid run offenses with movement emphasis. Huh. Imagine that. Movement, line movement. He's good with that. He's good in a zone-based system. We have that. He plays well. He's super intelligent and calls out and communicates well with guards. Holy crap, he's everything we thought. That's a pro comp of Frank Ragnow, in my opinion. As you know, I go into work at 1 today, so this is usually my half-hour show, so I keep it brief. Dwayne King, good to see you, brother. Make sure you ring that bell for the notifications. We're growing every day. We're up to 625 subscribers now. Last night I did my Inside the Pigskin show with Scott Morganroth as the host. I was just one of the guests and got to talk about it. And I mentioned it on the Ken and Ken show, the 4 teams that have not been in an NFC championship this century. Number 1, there's only one in the NFC, and that's the Cowboys. There are 3 AFC teams, the Houston Texans, the Dolphins, and what was the other one? God, I had it on the tip of my tongue. Help me out here, Jim. I know you're out there. Jay, good to see you, brother. Yes, go Lions. I think this guy is the center that we need to grab. And I would grab him at 50 in a heartbeat. I would go offensive line with the first 2 picks and then do everything defense after that. The only thing I might consider is a power back if we trade away David Montgomery, which is still if you listen to Brad's presser, it sounds like it could happen. Oh no, Mickey Lolich passed away. Rest in peace. Tigers fans are probably reeling right now. I know I am just seeing it. Wow. I don't think Jennings Dunker, he looks like he's going to translate the guard, and we're kind of deep at the guard position. It's the tackle position we need the most help with. I would rather grab Max Ahinakor, or if you're going to take a guy that is versatile, who's actually played all the positions on the O-line, you can take somebody later like Trey Zune, who I also wrote about. And he's probably going to be my focal prospect on Monday. Mondays and Wednesdays, I'm going to do a draft prospect focus out of my articles. I've written 12 over the past 2 weeks. If you haven't seen them, use your phone, hit that QR link up there, and go check them out because I've heard I do a pretty good job. I'll do a draft look at them. I saw some flashes there at the Senior Bowl. Max Ahinakor, I believe, outplayed him. I think Trey Zune outplayed him. And I also think Jake Slaughter outplayed him as far as the old lineman play. Um, Mike Washington had a good, decent game running for the national team. For a Flint guy. Nice. That's a nice little dig at the town. You know, Flint, where the water's shit, but the tires are good. Had to do it. I just think, and I just wrote my offensive preview today, this morning. I hope you all enjoyed it. I sent that, or actually last night, and sent it out early in the morning. Those of you that receive it by email, the unedited pre pre-release, pre-published MDE, JI is one of them. And of course, Scott Morganroth, my publisher, I send it directly to him too, so he can check them out. And then, of course, I send it to the editor in chief, which is Candy Ebling, his wife. Yeah, they haven't updated that. So, what do you want to talk about? Because, Frank Wright was hired as the OC of the Jets. I think that was a great move for AG. He finally got a veteran offensive play caller in there. He was the interim head coach for Stanford last year. Andrew Luck is their GM of the money in their office there since NIL came about. And think about this. Over 10,000 students hit the portal this year, and 6,846 of them don't have a home to go to because either the people that were in the transfer portal took their spot or they recruited people to take their spot. And now there's like 6,800 and some odd students without a home in college football. This is a sign they got to do something about the college football portal. One guy made a good suggestion, and I agree with it. One free portal move, the next one you have to sit out a year. This chasing the money and chasing fits and everything else, unless your coach is fired or leaves for another job, you only get one free transfer portal during your college career because it's supposed to be about your education, not moving on to the NFL. Now that they're considered like a professional athlete and being paid, they got to start treating it like a real job, in my opinion. Yeah, I heard that. Because let's face it, Andy Reid calls the plays in Kansas City. Matt Nagy had a Tecmo Bowl playbook as a head coach, but he did have flashes as a coordinator before. So maybe coordinator is where he belongs. He's behind a veteran coach, so maybe they can work together to make out a decent playbook more than sweep halfback sweep left, halfback sweep right, halfback off tackle left, halfback off tackle right, and halfback dive. Because that was the Tecmo Bowl playbook and run. Remember those? And then it was slants, tight end cross, and bomb were your passing plays. I remember the Tecmo Bowl playbook very well. And those of us old cats remember the Nintendo. The best version on the Super NES was Tecmo Bowl 3 with Bo Jackson and Barry Sanders. If you had either one of those, you had either had Teflon Barry or Powerhouse Bo. Giants hiring NFL executive Don Aponte as senior vice president in football operations. That's good for him. It's good to see women in positions of power in the NFL. We have already seen a difference in the way the Colts organization was run. We've seen a difference in the way our Lions organization is ran with female owners, and I think they're all doing a bang up job. I think they need to go ahead and see when Daniel Jones will be back to see if it's worth putting more money into him this year instead of letting him walk in free agency because he was fantastic for them until he got hurt. And it's mostly because they had some O-line injuries there, which had some backups playing that weren't quite ready. It's funny, all the teams that started off hot had O-line issues, and all of them fell apart, including our Lions. We had O-line issues from jump. Goes to show you that center position is way more important than anybody gave it credit for. Um, the top centers this draft, Connor Lew is considered number one. Yes, Dwayne Keene, I love this message. Let's go Detroit Lions football. One pride, all grit, never back down. But I wouldn't touch Connor Lew if I was the Jets. And I'm going to say that now because he's had 2 ACL tears, one in each leg. Yes, Detroit had a great game last night versus the Nuggets and won that one. Detroit made a trade. The Pistons, they traded away Ivy and got back Herter and another guy and swap protected picks with Minnesota, which means we're going to move up anywhere from 19 to 1, depending on where they finish and how they do in the draft lottery. And I think that's great because we'd have been out of the draft lottery with where we were. Our ball would drop. We'd be stuck where we're at because right now we're one of the best seeds in the NBA. Because Ivy wasn't getting any minutes. He wasn't healthy yet. And I don't know what going on with him mentally, but he wasn't providing a spark when he came into games. Duran has been the linchpin and Beef Stew. When they're out there together, no one gets a bucket close. So he made a move. Are we going to use that pick to acquire somebody else? Who knows? But we got the Olympics coming up, the hockey break. I think we got a last game for the Red Wings coming up, and then it's the Olympic break comes because Dylan Larkin is playing for the USA, Mo Sider for Germany, and the other guy is playing for Sweden, Murphy, I think it is. So I'm kind of excited for the Olympics. Lindsey Vaughn's going to ski with a complete torn ACL from her injury in that practice run. Uh, I think she's nuts. She's in her 40s, which in athletics, that's like being my age or older. But kudos to her. How tough is she? I kind of hope he does because I really don't want to see us cut him, but that's the only way we're going to save money if he doesn't retire. And Brad Holmes says with this looming retirement, he's not going to lay back and just let it happen and not be prepared for it like we were with Ragnow. Because Ragnow hinted he might, but didn't give a definitive answer prior to the draft. So they thought he was coming back. So when he waited till June 3rd, yeah, looking to see if there's any latest news here. Nothing yet. So it is that time. Say the words. You know what they are there, MDE. Put them in the chat. Because I got just enough time to do one before I have to get off here and leave for work. Yes, you're absolutely right, brother. Proctor's still there. Everybody else that was ranked ahead of him is gone. I think I'm going to have to take him instead of that trade because that trade pushes you all the way back to the second round. I don't like that one. 155 is in the fifth round. I'm going to reject it. Let's see what they say about Jennings. Look up old school offensive lineman, barrel tested, who has starter upside at offensive guard and at least experience and functional at tackle. That's why I'm not as high on him. I'm sticking with my guy. I don't have a third round pick. I'm getting him. There went Overton. There's my guy. I like this guy. Most violent hands in the draft. Six foot and 190. Jalen Husky, 6'1", 199. And Wyatt Williams Jr. 65. I'm gonna take Taft. Price up. Now here's where I switch modes. This is where I go offensive because I've basically taken care of every position but linebacker. I think I better take care of linebacker first. Yeah, pretty much it is. So let's take a look at what we did. I'm going to stop sharing it. I'm going to screenshot it, and we will look at it on the show. No trades, just straight up drafted where we sit. I didn't like any of the trades. So here is our mock 46 draft result. Caden Proctor, Logan Jones, Gabe Jacobs, Michael Taft, Ephesians Price, Kendall Daniels, Chip Trayanum, and Jack Strand. I took care of the defense in the middle rounds, in the fourth, fifth, and the early sixth. And then in the rest of the sixth and seventh, I took care of the backups that we need on this offense. Jacob Sailors is a great special teams player, but he was just okay when he stepped on the field in relief of Montgomery and Gibbs. And the Chip Trayanum thing is just in case we trade away Monty. I think he's a perfect guy to come in. 4'5" guy, 5'11", 230 pounds, and runs with violence. I talked about him Monday. If you watched the show, it was great. I enjoy doing these draft profiles. I enjoy doing these mocks with you guys. It's fun. It's my way of saying if I was GM, this is the way I'd go. Doesn't mean it's the way the Lions go. It doesn't mean anything. But we did talk to Caden Proctor at the East West Shrine game while he was there. So O lineman, the sleeper quarterback pick, or the sleeper linebacker / safety pick. Which one do you want to see Monday coming up? Because that's the draft profile focus I'll do. You guys pick it because I try to make you guys happy. That's just me. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys that are media trendy right now. I mean, if I didn't get Logan Jones, I probably would have taken Trey Zune at the start of the first if I'd have went edge in the second. You know, there is if it's a need, there is no right or wrong answer in the draft. If it's just I feel that center is a bigger need than edge. Because I think AQM deserves 8.5 million to be back now. And I kind of get it. He's not getting any younger. And he's only going to get a 1 or 2 year contract anyway. But these backloaded contracts that we're doing is why we're in this cap hell this year. Okay. I did the converted safety already, Kendall Daniels. He's actually a linebacker now. So AJ Halsey from LSU, I'll do a write up on him over this weekend, Brent. I will go watch some game film, put something together, and it'll probably be published sometime over the weekend. Because that's when I have more time to write. I try not to write as much from Wednesday through Saturday. And that's because that's when I work. But thank you for watching, everybody. Tune in tomorrow because I don't go into 1:30, so I can be here a little longer. But today I got to be there at 1, so I'm going to cut this short. Have a great day, everybody. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place. We got to bring unity back in America. We got to start loving our fellow man. I don't care about who you vote. Yes, 9:30 p.m. will be the NFL Roundtable Talk. That's going to be set up shortly. So we're going to talk about the coaching changes. We're going to talk about the NFL Hall of Fame snubs of course, Bill Belichick, Robert Kraft, and Eli Manning. But Eli Manning, was it really a sub? Did we expect him to be a first ballot Hall of Famer? Some people did, some people didn't. And you can make a case for both, because in the regular season, he was nowhere near as good as he was in the postseason, but his postseason runs were phenomenal, taking out the evil empire that was the Patriots. And we're also going to do our Super Bowl preview, who we think's going to win. And maybe talk about which halftime show are we going to watch, the Turning Point or the actual Super Bowl halftime show. I haven't decided. Well, yeah, I have, but I don't want to get into that now. There's like 3 other halftime shows out there too that other people are doing. So we have options. If you don't like rock, go watch the country one. If you don't like country, go watch the R&B one. If you like what Bad Bunny, watch the Super Bowl one. I personally do not care what you want to do. Oh yeah, and of course there's the Puppy Bowl, which is cute and everything, but I don't watch that when the Super Bowl's on. But peace, love, and chicken grease, everybody. Much love, and just be kind.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.